Yo, what's up? Welcome back to the Haunted Basement Studio, and we're back with another comic book review, Armageddon Vampirella issue number 2, written by Tom Sniegoski. Now, Vampirella has found herself in hell. Yes, I said that right, in hell. But can she find a army that she can take over and lead and maybe get back to Earth? There's only one way to find out, is let's review Vampirella Armageddon issue number 2. So the story's going to start off with just a recap of what happened in issue number 1. Our werewolf, the Lycan, is telling, the authorities, because he's in a cell, what happened, how they got some intel about something that's going on with these tourists getting taken and then this never appearing again. And as they make it to this warehouse, right when they get there, there's this evil priest that is doing some sort of ritual, and just by the time that they were able to attack, the ritual opened up a portal where Vampirella got sucked into, and there was a big old explosion, and then that's when our Lycan got knocked out. And that's all he knows. And he's trying to tell him, yes, Vampirella went through a portal, but we needed to know, where did she go? So the detective and his partner, they believe the werewolf, and they say, well, we need to go get the hellhound, Bazazar, who was injured in a fight from Vampirella Strikes. And as they go to him, he's this creature, this hellhound. And they say, we need your help. And he says, no bleep. And as they walk into a warehouse in Speckler City, where all of these laboratories are built, but nobody has done anything with them. But as they walk in, they say, this place is perfect for rituals. And they say, yes, there has been rituals here. As the hellhound sniffs around and he starts to throw up. They're like, oh my God. He's like, what is it? He says to them, there was a portal here to hell. And they look at him and say, Vampirella's been transported to hell. All right, man, let's go see what Vampirella's been doing in hell. And so there is a group of nomads and various species that live on the outskirts of the regions of hell. And as a group of them make their way to a cave where the rest of them are, one of them has Vampirella as a captive. And as he holds up Vampirella, her face is half skeleton from being sandblasted from the desert storm. And he says, if this one survives, then she is my slave. But if she doesn't, well, you can thank me for putting food in all your guys' belly. And then all of a sudden you hear the leader says, no, she is mine. And if you want to fight me for her, we'll fight to the death. And then the captive looks up at the leader and says, no, you can go ahead and have her. And Vampirella starts to wake up at this time. And the leader says, I am going to claim her as my own. And then Vampirella looks up at him with fangs out and says, get your damn hands off of me. And pushes the beast off to the side. And he says to her, well, there's the spirit. And she looks up at him and says, I'll show you, spirit. And then sinks her fangs right into his throat and starts sucking out all the blood as he's begging for help. Help me, please get her off of me. But nobody helps him as Vampirella drops his cold dead body on the ground with blood dripping off of her fangs. And then she looks up at the rest of the nomads and says, does anybody else want to claim me as their own? Is there anybody out there? I didn't think so, because it would have ended the same way. And now Vampirella looks up at the crowd of nomads and says, who wants to get on my good side and tell me exactly where I'm at? And right at that time, all the nomads start throwing their weapons at Vampirella's feet. She's like, what are you doing? And one of the slaves look at her and says, well, you beat the leader in combat, and so now you own all of us slaves. And by the way, you are the new tribal leader. And she says, oh my God, stars and circles. And so now it passes differently in hell in comparison to other realities. Its ebbs and its flows sometimes speed up and other times slow down. There was no way for Vampirella to know how much time has passed back home or how long she has actually been in hell, living and leading the nomads. All she knew was that it was critical for her to get back home. Now, Vampirella and the nomads are trying to make it into one of the regions of hell, closer to the city. But the nomads are telling her it is super dangerous going over there. But she doesn't care because she needs to find her way home. And as she is taking down beasts left and right on their journey, all of a sudden the ground, the sand starts to rumble. They're like, oh my God, he has never been this close to us. He never travels out this far. She's like, what do you think? And all of a sudden, a giant worm comes out from underneath the sand like a whale does in the ocean and grabs Vampirella. And right before the big old worm, it is the Leviathan of hell, is what this is. She has a memory of this creature. She knows who it is as the worm swallows Vampirella, and the nomads look at each other and like, oh my God, where did Vampirella go? And now that's going to be the end of Vampirella Part 2, but there's one more little chapter that's going on, was what's happening in Spectre City back on Earth. So let me tell you what's going on real quick with that. We make our way back into another warehouse where our evil priest is preparing for another ritual, drawing pentagrams on the ground and taking blood from rats and pouring it all over it, when all of a sudden, like, this demon creature kind of looks like a man Nyx, all fiery and black, shows up and says, where have you been? I've been looking for you. And the evil priest says, well, since our last ritual, the cops showed up right when I was finishing it. But all of a sudden, the portal opened up and Vampirella got sucked into it. But I assure you that Vampirella was dead before she got sucked into the portal. And this evil demon creature looks at him and says, it was Vampirella? Are you sure she was dead? He's like, oh, she was, but we know that she wasn't. And he says, so now Vampirella is in hell? Bam, end of the story right there. Issue number 2. Absolutely crushed it. And let me give you my final thoughts on everything. All right, man, final thoughts of Armageddon issue number 2, Vampirella, written by Tom Sniegoski, is absolutely amazing. I think the story is right up Tom Sniegoski's alley. He is really crushing it. He is doing so good. And then the cover from Francesco Mattina is absolutely stunning and amazing. And the art by Kewber Baa right there is freaking fire as hell. I'm digging the art in this one. I'm gonna give the art a solid 8 out of 10. I think some of the panels are just amazing. How you can draw all sorts of different types of characters. Right there, look at the color. I mean, he's doing the color in it as well. So yeah, the art is knocking out the park. And the letterist, man, I love the letterist in this one. Jeff Eckelberry right there, dude. He crushed the lettering, could easily read it. Wasn't all crazy fonty like. And the story from Tom Sniegoski, again, it's a solid 8 out of 10, man. It's definitely an 8 out of 10 is amazing. It's like, I cannot wait to pick this one up, pick up part 3 when it comes out, which it should be out right now, dude. But man, tell me all what you think about Vampirella Armageddon in the comment section below, and tell me if you're reading it. Whatever you're reading, let me know. All right, dude, that was long enough review. Thank you for joining me, Triple B, in the Haunted Basement Studio. And I want you guys to remember one thing. You keep it haunted. Comics. Laters.